What's up? Um, yeah, thank you for those of you that have been doing your work. I cannot thank you enough. It's been a struggle for me to see some kids working and some kids not really doing anything, especially because I'm taking so much time creating these videos and trying to help you kids learn stuff that you're going to use next year. So for those of you that are doing that, thank you. I'm going to switch things up a little bit moving forward, just because the way I've been doing things, just too many emails for me. The check-ins, too many emails. Um, I'm going between 350 to 400 emails. I gotta siphon through, and that's too much. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you a little different method moving forward. If you're doing homework at all, okay, you're checking in. And this week's gonna be a little different because we're not using Khan Academy this a week. I'll kind of touch base with you at the end. What I'm gonna do is actually, I'm going to attach a file, okay, for you kids to view. If you are not able to, I don't know, for whatever reason, open that file, this is what the file is going to look like. It's going to be this many problems right here. I'll just open it so you can see it. And if you can't, like if you don't even want to open the file, guess what? You could just pause the video or come back in the video right now later, and I'll bring it up later, but that's kind of what your homework's going to look like. It's going to be an attachment. If you do your homework, you don't need to check in with me. Okay, that's one thing I want to make clear. So when you're turning in your homework, this is what I need from you. If you're period 4 or period 5, you need to put period 4, just like this, and then put a dash and put Tuesday homework. Okay, send me your answers. That's what I want. So you could just put, well, like number 1, x equals this, or number 2, whatever. Okay, that's what's going to need to happen. Okay, that is your check-in. You doing your homework is your check-in. Okay, same thing for Thursday's homework. Boom, it's going to say, hey, if you're in period 5 or period 4, it doesn't matter. You need to put Thursday, if you can type and spell Thursday homework in whatever period you're in this exact format. Okay, you can either attach your work, right? Attach a file if you want me to see your work, or you can just write your answers, 1, and then put whatever's going on with that. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many problems I give you. Okay, so that's what's happening moving forward this week. No Khan Academy. This week, your check-ins are your homework. Okay, make sure you kids are doing your work. Gosh darn it, I did that again, but it's all good. So that's what's kind of going on in regards to that. Let me show you your lesson really quickly, so we can kind of bang this out and get out of here. We're dealing with quadrilaterals, parallelograms to be specific. Okay, in regards to our parallelograms, they're going to ask you for a couple things. Let's go over your properties of parallelograms real quick. This is what your parallelogram is going to look like. Okay, I just want you to know that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So your top and your bottom are going to be congruent. Your left and your right are going to be congruent. Okay, so opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Well, what does that mean? On your homework, they're going to give you something like this. It's going to say A, B, C, D. Now, this is the time where, hey, if you don't have your notes out or, pen or paper or whatever, you need to get it out and get ready. Now, what they're going to ask you is they're going to say, hey, find BC. Now, let's just say this was number 1 on your homework. You're going to see something like this. You're going to see 4x plus 2, and then you're going to see something like this, like 2x plus 6. And I told you, and I'm going to make this really easy, I told you that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. They're the same. They're equal. So what do you think we're going to do here with these two guys? We're going to set them equal, right? That's all you're going to do on your homework. If you see opposite sides, you set them equal. So you would say something like 4x plus 2 equals 2x plus 6. Subtract the x over, subtract the 2 over, and you'd get 2x equals, what if we do minus 2 here, minus 2 here? Is it 4? Divide 2, x equals 2. Now, that's close to your answer, but it's not your answer, because what are they asking you to find? They ask you to find BC. Well, where from B to C is right here. That's BC. So you got to go ahead and you got to plug your 2 in right there. So you'd say, oh, 4 times 2 plus 2. And what's 4 times 2? 8 plus 2 is 10. So on your homework, when you email me, right, you'd put number 1 and you'd write BC equals 10, if that was your homework problem, right? But I'm just giving you an example that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, that's one type of problem you're going to see on your homework. Okay, if you need to pause it and catch up on the notes, do it. Now, another aspect of parallelograms that you're going to see is that opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Well, what does that mean? Okay, that means the opposite angles are the corners. So these guys are going to be congruent, and these guys here with the double swoop are going to be congruent to each other. Okay, so that means this angle up here is going to be the same as this angle down here. Okay, this angle up in this corner is going to be the same as this angle down in this corner. Okay, so let's say problem number 2 on your homework says, find the measure of angle A, and they give you a picture like this, A, B, C, D, and they go ahead and throw and they say, oh, this guy's, 6x plus 66, right? And this guy, let's just say minus. I'm going to change this to a minus right here. So get rid of that guy, make him a minus. He's a minus. And then they say this guy down here is 4x plus 22. Gosh, I don't even like how that is. Let's say 122. Yeah, 122. 4x plus 122. Okay. Now, what did we say? And I'm making these problems up as I go. That's why it's a little tricky for me. But I said, hey, opposite angles are congruent, right? So these corner angles, right, they're congruent. So what do you think we're going to do with these two guys? Right, we're going to set them equal. Exactly. So you'd say 6x minus 66 equals 4x plus 122. Okay, you'd move the 66 over here. You'd move the 4x over there. And I think you get 2x equals, is it 1? I don't know. What is it? 122 plus 66. 188. 2x equals 188. Okay, divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, and x would equal something like, gosh, 90, 180, 99 maybe? No, it can't be 99. Let's see what it is. 94? Yeah, I think it's 94. Now, what you would do, it says find the measure of angle A, right? You would plug this x back in up here. Okay, and I'm not going to do that right now because what's going to happen is we're going to get a really big number that's not realistic for an angle, right? Because every angle has to be less than 180 degrees. But I made this problem up and I got a little bit of funky numbers. But the key is that, hey, all you got to do if you have these corner angles is set them equal to each other and find x. Once you find x, plug it into whatever they're asking. So your answer for number 2 should look like this. Measure of angle A, and you can do that on in your keyboard, equals, and whatever you get. In this case, it would be a big number, but on your homework, it would be something more realistic. Okay? Now, problem number 3. This is the last type of question you're going to see on your homework. And hopefully I can make this one make a little more sense as far as the numbers are concerned. My little pen thing is tripping. Okay, this is a parallelogram, and it's actually a decent one by me for once. Okay, A, B, C, D. The last scenario you would have is if you had an angle here and an angle here. See, they're on the same side, okay? Or you could have something like this, an angle down here and an angle down here at the bottom. See, they're both touching the same side. They're not opposites. Remember how in the beginning we did corner angles on the last problem? The corner angles we set equal to each other. Okay, these angles, if they're on the same side, if they're both touching the same side, we add them and set them equal to 180. Okay, so let's say on the homework, for example, problem number 3 looked like this. And we'll just say A, B, C, D again. And they want you to find measure of angle A. Okay, and they told you this guy down here is 3x plus 21, and this guy's 2x plus 34. Okay, now you got to notice, right? You got to notice that on the notes, what did I say? If they're both touching the same side of the parallelogram, they're not corners, we got to add them and set them equal to 180. So we'd say 3x plus 21 plus 2x plus 34 equals 180. Okay, combine like terms, 5x, combine like terms, I think it's 55, equals 180. Okay, subtract him over, and we get 5x equals, I think it's 125, right? Divide 5, and I actually think x is 25. Okay, and we're close. We're almost there because they want the measure of angle A. So we take that guy and we put him back into A. But we don't have an A here, so it would be like D. Okay, right? They'd ask you for angle D. Okay, but if they did ask you for angle A, let's just say they did ask you for angle A, find measure of angle A. I actually kind of like that question. Well, don't we know that these corner angles are congruent? This guy here, these corner angles are congruent to each other. So if they did ask you for A, hey, you could say, hey, let me just plug them in there. What's 2 times 25? 2 times 25 is 50 plus 34 is 84. And this guy in the corner is 84, which means this guy up here in the corner is 84. So you could give me that answer technically, just kind of using your brain and figuring it out. All right, so here's your lesson. I'm going to attach the homework so you have it. But just so you know, if you don't want to attach the, if you don't want to open the link and you just want to just press pause on the keyboard right now and just, there's your homework right there. I mean, that's nice coming from my video, being able to just view it and see it. But yeah, that's everything I showed you. Hey, opposite side, set them equal, corner, set them equal, opposite side, set them equal, corner, set them equal, set them equal. Up, these guys are different. Add them and set them equal to 180. Yep, add them and set them equal to 180 here. And then add them and set them equal to 180 there. Okay? So, yeah, get me your homework. Remember, it's due by Friday at midnight. You don't have to do it, do it today, and turn it in today if you want. But, if you're a lagger, that's an option. And then I'll see you kids later. I'm going to record your Thursday video here in a minute.